What is the human obsession with remakes? This animated version is way better.
Hello?
And another one. Are you even surprised? I'm not gonna lie about this one, Peter Pan and Wendy went completely under the radar for me. I don't know if it's just because Disney is really bad at marketing their movies recently or what, but it wasn't until like a week ago that I learned about this movie by people telling me that they wanted me to review it. So, of course, this meant I was gonna have to rewatch the original for the first time since I was a kid, and yeah, it's a classic. The original is actually a really fun, charming little adventure. It's not super deep or anything, but it has great songs, beautiful animation, and not to mention the funniest villains Disney has made up until Yzma and Kronk. Captain Hook and Shmi are easily the best part of the original film, and they had such great chemistry and energy.
Captain! Oh dear, I never shaved him this close before. It must be somewhere about here.
Get up, you idiots!
I see. Ooh, I found it, Captain. Good as new.
Why, you blithering!
The original movie is actually pretty lively and chaotic, and I love it for that. If there's anything that Walt Disney was a master of, it was comedic timing. From the sound effects to the voice acting, this is how slapstick should be done, and it's incredible.
Smee! Roll for the ship! Roll for the ship!
Now, of course, the original had its issues. Really questionable issues, but ignoring the blatant racism, it's pretty hard not to get won over by its lighthearted tone and whimsical energy. But of course, per the course of these live-action remakes, Peter Pan and Wendy will probably just try and fail to copy and paste, do nothing new or original because why bother? So I watched it, and surprisingly enough, it's not a complete and total rehash of the original. It actually tries new things and tries to be its own thing, which I think is cool. I wasn't expecting that at all. So who knows, maybe this will actually be a decent remake. I mean, I love the movie Hook, which is a live-action Peter Pan film, so it's not like this is an impossible movie to make. Hell, maybe in fact, this will be another live-action remake from Disney. Of course it's bad. It's actually really, really bad. It's not as bad as Pinocchio or Mulan or anything like that, but this is perhaps the single most boring live-action remake we've gotten to date. It is so fucking dull. It is such a boring movie to look at, to listen to. I mean, just look at this. Where is the color? I can't see shit in this film. Why is a Peter Pan movie so desaturated? He's chasing after a shadow in this scene, but I can barely even make it out.
Just to help illustrate the problem with this movie, here is what it could have looked like. Here is what the movie normally looks like. Here is what it looks like after we adjust the brightness. It's insane how much of a difference it makes. And all at the click of a button.
I'd be more forgiving if that was the point and Neverland ended up having more color, but it doesn't really. At least not that much. It's like I'm watching Where the Wild Things Are, but at least that movie had a point to not having much color. This is just so boring looking. The original movie was so vibrant and bright. Neverland was just this gorgeous location with so much variety. But we actually don't get to see much of Neverland in this movie. It's mostly just Hook's ship and the hideout. We get brief glimpses of the other places in Neverland like the Indian tribe, but they're very brief. Not like I don't get it though. But hey, at least this movie can say it ain't racist, or sexist, or anything really, except trying too hard. We made Tinkerbell black, we have girls in the Lost Boys, even one of the kids has Down syndrome. Aren't we just so inclusive here at Disney? You know, I'm honestly surprised they didn't make Captain Hook and Shmi be a gay couple in this movie, especially given the chemistry they had in the original movie. I mean, they did it with LeFou and Beauty and the Beast, so why not these guys too? Now look, don't take this as me shitting on representation and stuff. I have no problem with it, honestly. I could care less if they make Tinkerbell black or whatever. I just see it for what it is. Disney doesn't actually care about representation. They care about money. And what makes money nowadays? Representation. Or maybe it doesn't. Hey, you know what I miss? Peter Pan being kind of an asshole. In the original film, he was an immature boy. As a result, he could be forgetful and selfish and just kind of a dick all around. He made Wendy his side hoe. He was pulling chicks everywhere and he didn't have to try. Peter Pan had game and he was too young to even notice. But in this movie, Oh my god, he's so boring. They're all boring. Every character. This is such a weird thing to say, but this is oddly a very serious movie. Like, almost to a depressing degree. There isn't that much levity or comedy, really. I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 jokes in the entire film. I'm not kidding. There's just all these serious talking scenes and monologuing and Jesus Christ, this is fucking Peter Pan. Have a fucking adventure. Go around the island. Look at some magical creatures or something. Just do something for Christ's sake. I can't believe I'm this bored from a Peter Pan movie. Look, I'm cool with having slow scenes and serious talks in a kid's movie, but there's just so much of it in this one. And on top of that, the movie forgets the critical role of filmmaking. Show, don't tell. Spoilers for this movie that I don't really recommend, but I actually like the idea that Captain Hook was a former Lost Boy and Peter's friend at one point. I like that Peter banished him for simply missing his mom and wanting to go home, but Hook never could go home and thus became a pirate. It's actually a cool idea that I've never seen before. But the problem is they don't show us anything. It's all boring talking and sad speeches and oh, woe is me. They have like 10 scenes where they all just mope about this shit. And I'm just like, this is Peter Pan? This is the most depressing shit I've ever seen. I think 13 Reasons Why is less depressing than this somehow. They don't show Peter's negative, immature side in this movie. At least not that much. Apparently, Peter already regrets what he did to Hook, but shouldn't that have been the point of his arc? Shouldn't we actually see him learn to regret what he did? For some reason, these live-action remakes have a problem with showing their main characters do bad things and be bad people, even when them being bad has a point to it. Peter Pan's a little shit! He's a total troll who doesn't learn a lesson. He's an immature little kid. That's the whole point of Neverland, to never grow up. But in this version, he's more like a whiny teenager whose favorite album is A Beautiful Lie. Sure, we get bits and pieces of his original personality here and there, like when he puts on a fake beard to fool the pirates, but once they get to the hideout, he takes a complete 180, and it almost feels like character assassination. Not to mention in the end, it's kind of a pointless change. Hook still wants to kill Peter, and he still had his hand cut off and fed to the crocodile, who's barely even in the movie, by the way. The endgame for both Peter and Hook are relatively unchanged, so what was even the point of it? It just feels like such a waste of a genuinely cool idea. Also, apparently he's been stalking Wendy in this version?
How'd you know my name, Peter Pan?
I heard your mother call you. Wendy, time to wake up, she says. Wendy, time for school. Wendy, bedtime.
You've been watching me.
Sometimes.
Okay. That is an interesting change. Okay. I think I prefer the racism because at least we got a catchy song from that. Also, I hate to be mean to this kid, but this is such a bad performance. He is just so lifeless and dull and emotionless. Like, just listen to him.
I'm Peter Pan. I don't ever need help. I like it. I like it very much. What she's saying is, I saved the day.
You saved part of the day.
And I did a pretty good job at it. No pixie dust this time. No magic. No tricks. Just a little help from my friends. Neverland just wasn't good enough for him. I really thought you'd be happy here.
You look like you're about to tell your friend not to come to school tomorrow, man.
You know what? I think I take that back. I think a whiny emo kid would actually show us some emotion here and there. The other kids aren't much better. Michael and John are actually barely in this film. So much so that they have to get captured by Hook almost immediately as soon as they enter Neverland, just so Peter can save them and justify their existence in the film. After that, they don't do a thing. In fact, I think they maybe have like 5 lines total between the two of them in the second half. And Hook, god damn it, way to ruin the best character from the original. I get they were trying to make him more sympathetic in this version, but they forgot something very crucial. Captain Hook is pathetic. He's a grown-ass man who's got beef with a 12-year-old boy. He's like Team Rocket, only without the sass. The same pirate captain that shoots a guy just for singing is also a bloody coward who cries for mercy, but will then try to stab you the second your back is turned. He's a little weasel, and the original understood this. It was actually kind of funny, since even though he's a grown man, he still acts like a little kid in some ways. But despite this, he was actually a really cunning villain. He wasn't afraid to put on a show to fool people into a false sense of security. Like, for example, when he tricked Tinkerbell into telling him where Peter Pan's hideout is. It showed that despite his pathetic nature, he still had the capability to be a threatening and intelligent villain who just so happens to be pretty petty as well. But in this version, oh, he doesn't trick anybody into discovering Peter Pan's hideout. No! Instead, he and his men are just randomly walking around in the woods and stumble upon it by sheer fucking accident. Way to keep in touch with the conniving nature, guys. He's boring. Jude Law is boring. Smee is boring. It's all boring. No charm, no levity, just so deadpan and straightforward. I cannot remember a single line that comes out of this guy's mouth. I can't remember a single thing he does, save for this one thing, which we'll get into, I promise. And then there's Wendy. Oh my god, you guys really fucked this character up, didn't you? Again, this all comes down to the pacing. The movie starts off with her not wanting to grow up, same as the original. She meets Peter Pan and is excited to go to Neverland and fight pirates and shit. She's completely aware of the stories and what awaits her in Neverland. But then, after one measly fight with Captain Hook, she also takes a sudden 180 in her character. Suddenly, she doesn't want to stay in Neverland and wants to grow up and live a full life. I'm sorry, where the hell did this come from? In the original, Wendy learning that it's okay to grow up was a slow burner. She saw how immature Peter and the Lost Boys were and didn't want to end up like that. On top of that, she was already pretty mature herself, being the older sister to her brothers, so it feels natural that she would come to be comfortable again with this role that she had had for years already. But in this movie, A, her brothers are barely in the movie, and she has very little interaction with them following the cave scene, and B, this comes right the fuck out of nowhere. I get that she was afraid for her brothers and stuff, but it still just feels so abrupt. Suddenly, she's trying to convince Peter Pan to try growing up himself, and it's just so tedious. I don't buy her development at all because it's just so spontaneous. It really comes down that the pacing is one of the worst issues in this movie. It's over 20 minutes longer than the original, including credits, and yet it somehow feels like less is going on. Like, how do you do that?
You have the boy's magic.
No, this magic belongs to no boy.
Ugh, who the fuck asked for that? There's also this weird trend where people are thinking too much about fairy tales and they try to explain the magic in them, and frankly, these are just really stupid questions to ask. Who cares why there aren't any parents in Neverland? Who cares why they don't grow up there? It's a dumb fairy tale for dumb fucking kids. You don't need to explain these things. Especially when, in fact, the movie doesn't answer those questions. Wendy asks these questions and never gets a straight answer. You cannot ask these questions and then not answer them. It's like, what the fuck? But perhaps the weirdest thing about this movie is just how brutal it can be. Now, normally I'm cool with a kids movie having some brutality here and there, but this movie is honestly kind of gruesome. The crocodile eats multiple people in his one scene. But then there is easily the best scene in the whole movie, which I wholeheartedly actually love. Peter Pan fucking dies. Hook actually successfully kills him. And it's not a fake out. No, he does, as a matter of fact, die in this movie. Sure, he comes back, but it's so stupid that it's probably the funniest thing that I've seen in a Disney live-action remake since that scene where Dalmatians murder Cruella de Vil's mother. And again, it's fucking brutal, man. Hook slashes him with his sword and cuts him open across the chest. He split this boy open like an envelope. There's blood pouring out of the wound. Like, oh my god, this is a PG-rated movie? And then he falls down like a 10-story drop and then just fucking falls through the floor like a goddamn cartoon character. I was on the floor laughing my ass off at this scene. It's probably the only scene in the movie that warrants a watch, because it has to be seen to be believed in. If I ever get showered in fairy dust and have to think a happy thought in order to fly, this will be the happy thought. I'll be sitting at the goddamn moon, that's how happy I'll be. But then the stupid part happens and ruins it. So Peter's shadow is able to break away from the corpse. God, I can't believe it's a corpse. And finds Tiger Lily so she can fix him up. She stitches the wound shut, and just like that, he's right as rain. He's completely healed, not limping from the fall or gripping his chest from the gaping gash that was on his chest. No, he's completely 100% healed and brought back to life. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, it was clearly magic that saved him. Tiger Lily clearly did some Native American magic, which I argue is also kind of racist itself, but I wouldn't worry about that because she didn't.
How did you do it, boy? How did you survive?
No pixie dust this time. No magic. No tricks. Just a little help from my friends.
Bullshit it ain't! In a world of mermaids and magic and stuff, you're gonna tell me to my face that magic didn't bring you back from the dead? You fucking bled out for hours, and you're gonna tell me a fucking patch job not only brought you back, but also completely healed you? The one instance where you don't use magic, and yet the only logical explanation for it would have been magic! What the fuck is this movie thinking?
No tricks. Just a little help from my friends.
Oh, it was your friends? The friends that you barely interacted with at all in this entire fucking movie? Those friends? Are they who you're talking about? Because the only person you've had any meaningful interaction with throughout the whole movie has been Wendy. And yeah, I get it. It's called Peter, Pan, and Wendy. Haha. I guess it's just their movie then? The Lost Boys, the brothers, fucking Tinkerbell? They're just fucking afterthoughts in this movie. And yet you're gonna tell me they brought you back? You're gonna try and actually pull the power of friendship cliche on this movie? Don't fuck with me. I get the power of God and anime on my side. Fuck! This is so fucking stupid. Oh my god. It's ironically one of the few redeeming factors of this movie. There's a couple of brief moments here and there that do fall into that so bad it's good territory. Like this one moment where Peter and the kids are hiding out on this rocky outcrop and they're making a plan to attack Hook and the pirates. And while they're busy planning, Hook points a cannon at them and actually succeeds in hitting them. They fucking blow up and it's played off like it's super serious. Guys, you cannot have a little shit who's overly confident make an overly complicated plan to attack his enemy and then go and get one-shotted. That shit is comedy gold. There is this one line that I also found myself laughing at.
Wake me up if one of them kills the other. Again.
You know what? That's the whole review in a nutshell right there. Wake me up when people are dying. Wake me up when Peter Pan dies. Oh my god, it's so dumb. Oh man, this movie's so bad. Oh, what else is there to say about this one? It's bad. You know it's bad. You knew it was gonna be bad. It's boring, it's badly acted, it's ugly. I mean, just look at this shit. It looks awful. From what I could find, the movie only had a budget of like $46 million, which is actually pretty cheap for a live-action remake. I'm also well aware that Disney is working their employees ragged, so there's also that. I don't think it's as bad as Pinocchio or Mulan. If anything, it's pretty forgettable, all things considered, save for those few scenes that had me laughing at how stupid it could get. You want my advice? And this should go without saying at this point. Just stick with the original. Or just go watch Hook. Hook is actually really good, and I have no idea what critics were thinking to give that movie a 29% while giving this one a 68. I can only say it's bad because of bad pacing, bad acting, bad directing, bad writing, and of course, just plain being unnecessary. Par the course for a live-action Disney remake.